Hi there, welcome back to Jody Journals. This is me recording my 2021 bullet journal, and we are starting off by gluing back down my little mischief managed patch and sewing on my little giraffe charm. A couple repairs needed. I originally ironed on the mischief managed patch since I have a canvas cover, but it didn't stick too long, so this time I used a little Gorilla Glue. And I normally just tie on little charms onto the end of my page marks there. But this time I decided to sew it because this little giraffe kept escaping in my purse. This month is the month of April, and I am going to be doing my monthly setup. It'll be a similar setup to last month because I found that that's what works best for me. And this time around I'm getting a little bit creative with some watercolor pencils. I was given them for my birthday, which was in March, and I'm going to use them for my titles and for different things throughout this month's spread. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you enjoy the creative process. If you have never used watercolor pencils before, I highly recommend them. You don't have to be very neat at coloring in things before you add the water, which is great for someone like me. I get like a sore wrist from holding pencils too long and all that. I guess it's like repetitive motion injury, which I'm sure a lot of people get, writing cramps and stuff. But what's great about them is all you need is a water pen to activate the pigments. And a water pen is that thing that's sitting to the left of the journal right there. It holds water in the handle, and it's got brushes on the tip, and when you squeeze it, the water flows through the brushes onto whatever you are painting. And with the watercolor pencils, you can color with them first, and then the water activates it. So you can see I'm using the water pen right now to just sort of activate those pigments and blend them. So it doesn't really matter if you're a bit of a scribbly colorer, someone who kind of scribbles when they color, because you can just blend it all later with the water. It's so fun, and I've been using my watercolor pencil set a lot recently. I've just been sort of filling in backgrounds on watercolor paper and making rainbow gradients and all sorts of different things and just experimenting with them. Another way you can use them is you just take a piece of paper and you color really hard, like in a circle, and then you can use a regular brush and a water cup and dip into it and use it as kind of like a palette if you prefer. I had a lot of fun with these watercolor pencils, and you guys will definitely be seeing them in the future. So shout out to my very good friend Roy for giving them to me. I've just been enjoying them ever since. I pulled out my trusty Tombow dual brush pen. I think this one is in 55. And of course my Stabilo, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Stabilo, I've heard it said several different ways. Stabilo, I've been saying it wrong all along, I just reread it on the pen itself. Stabilo, 0.88 mini fine, just to write in the numbers there. I drew all of my layout in pencil beforehand, but I cut that out because this video ended up being like so long. So I thought I'd spare you that part. writing in the days of the week there, and then I'm going to move on to my rolling task tracker. And this month I am adding on an 8th task that I'm going to track, and that's taking my allergy medicine. Spring is in full force here in the Redwoods, and all it takes is one trip to the mailbox and I am sneezing for the rest of the day. So I'm adding that in just to make sure that I take my allergy meds this spring. Instead of using my dual brushes to highlight like I did the last 3 months, I'm actually using my watercolor pencils to add a little bit of color there. Like I said, I've been loving these watercolor pencils. They are so versatile, and I've been enjoying trying them in new ways. So now I'm just coloring super lightly in the areas that I want to highlight. So every other column, and then of course the weekends in the rows, just so I know where I'm at in the month. And I chose a purple for the vertical and a pink for the horizontal to sort of match the title of April. And something else I did after this video last week is I went back in and I actually outlined all of the titles in my Stabilo black fine point pen just to give them a little more presence. But now I'm just going through and painting those vertical columns, and it kind of came out this beautiful pastel color because I had drawn so lightly in the columns and rows. And then when I activated the pigments, it almost turned into like a nice highlighter pastel-y color. Very spring, which I am enjoying a lot right now. I am hanging on to the tarot by week spread that I had done last month. I played around with it in January and February, and then finally last month I committed to pulling 3 tarot cards every Sunday just to sort of see if they come true or not, get to know my tarot deck, all of that fun stuff. And that seemed to be a good compromise. I couldn't commit to a daily pull. I'm not that organized or committed. So once a week has been really fun. In the next video, when I do my weekly April spreads, I'll flip back through March to give you guys an idea of how I used the spreads that I had done. And you'll see the tarot spread completely filled out. It was such a good time every month. Whether or not it came true or it was relevant to my life, I don't know, not really. But it's a fun exercise. It gives me something else to do to weekly journal. I draw the little card, I read the meaning in the booklet that came with my deck, and then of course I look it up online just to see if there's any differences or any other things that I can learn from it. But it's been fun to get to know these cards in this kind of way and enjoy it. I highlight that little center bit to try and fill in the blank spot. I actually really don't like it, but it was already done, so oh well. I just am gonna live with it. Again, I'm using my watercolors there to just sort of highlight each week in a different color. And then I'm going to do a similar gradient style title with those colors up at the top. And this spread is called Tarot by Week. And I went with sort of greens and blues on this one. And I had a really great time filling this one out and getting it all set up. And I'm looking forward to doing my weekly pulls and seeing, if maybe this month is any more relevant than last month was. I'm erasing some of the pencil marks that I had where I sketched out where I wanted my title to be. And I just wanted to let you guys know that the majority of this video is sped up either 4 or 8 times faster than normal. And I also cut out a lot of things, just because this took me about 2.5 hours to do these few spreads. So I just wanted to reassure you, if you're one of those people that is struggling with maybe feeling like you're not doing things fast enough, or it's taking too much time and you need to simplify your spreads, this is an indulgence for me when I get to spend this much time setting up spreads. And part of the reason why I wanted to record it this year was because I wanted it to be something that I get to do every month, like set aside time to do something I enjoy doing, like journaling and taking care of my mental health. I know this year, because of, the pandemic and all that fabulous stuff that happened in 2020. I'm from California. I got evacuated due to wildfires, flood risk. I lost my mom in late 2019. This last year and a half has just been outrageously difficult. And I kind of stopped caring for my mental health, and journaling is part of caring for my mental health. I did keep my journals going through all of that, and I'm so glad I did, because honestly, I don't remember a whole lot. I was just on survival mode and go for so many months. It was nice to have that record of my life and what happened over the last year and a half for me. And so for 2021, I wanted to really invest in that, and invest in my mental health, and invest in a log of my life that is realistic. So not only events and things, but you'll see right here I am doing my 1 line a day spread, where I write 1 sentence a day of what happened, how I'm feeling. It could be anything. And I found that through January, I kept up with it. February, I got re-evacuated, and I fell off the wagon of the 1 line a day, and I'm kind of sad about that, to be honest, because I was having a lot of stress, and it would be nice to go back and read those days. March, I hopped right back on. I've only missed a couple of days. It is also my birthday month, so I got to do a lot of fun stuff. But I'm hoping that these 1 line a days will help me down the line when I can reflect on my life and just see the resilience and the growth and all the wonderful things that came out of struggle and hardship. I'm finally at a point where I actually feel like I can start working on the resilience part of hardship and struggle. So I guess my point is that it's not a fast process setting up spreads like this, but it is time that I take to express myself and to take care of my mental health. And if you are able to do the same for yourself, do it. It is a guilt-free time for you to reflect, listen to some good tunes, maybe a podcast, audiobook, whatever you want to do, and just get yourself set up for the month so that you can utilize your journal in an effective way for you, whether that's for your mental health, to organize your school days, to organize your work days. Maybe you've got a family and 10 different activities for your 5 kids, or whatever it is. Take the time, set aside 2-3 hours once a month to set yourself up for success. It really does pay off later, and the beauty of journaling is that it's down on the page, and it's something that will still be there for you to look back on. And reflection is such an important part of the recovery process. If you're recovering from any sort of trauma and a global pandemic, I doubt there is a single person in the world who isn't going to need to recover from trauma. So the last little spread that I'm putting here, I am just labeling stuff. I called it brain dump last month, but I found that stuff fits better, just because looking back on the brain dump spread from last month, I have a to-do list for spring break, which is currently spring break. I'm a teacher, so I get spring break off. And so I have like a to-do list for spring break. I have collage stuff from my birthday gifts, and then I have some poetry that I wrote that will be up on my website. My website is linked below. It's mostly just creative writing, and honestly. There are a few blog posts about just things that I've been through as well. If that's something that you're interested in, please check it out. I kind of wear my heart on my sleeve over there, and you guys can decide the rest. Anyway, so I've just labeled this stuff, where I can jot down recipes and things like that. So here is the final walkthrough of the monthly spread. There is, April of the month in my task tracker. Here is my tarot by week that I am very excited to fill out next month. Here's my one line a day. And last but not least, stuff. I hope you enjoyed watching my journey, and I hope you come back for the April weeklies, which hopefully I will have up in the next day or so. Until then, mischief managed. See you soon.